going on, everybody? How are we doing? Today we are going to see the Roborock S7 Plus, see how well the mopping is on this. I actually haven't done much mopping test with this, so today I'm going to put this through the exact same test that I put the new DreamTech W10 robot mop through, and I want to see if this compares to that at all, or possibly could be better than it. We'll see. And then at the end we'll talk more about it. So let me go ahead and show you what it's going to be cleaning. A stain of syrup that has been fully dried. These are over 24 hours. And then there is some orange Gatorade. There's another coffee stain. And then over here we got more. This is syrup once again. There is some Gatorade once again. And then the coffee. So there's 2 stains of each liquid. So what I'm gonna do, and I do this in all my videos now, is one of each of the stains I'm gonna squirt with a little bit of a cleaner and see the difference that these robots make when you have a stain that is wet compared to one that is fully dried. Now I will say I have never had any robot vacuum with a mop or even a mopping robot be able to get up a fully dried coffee stain, juice stain, or anything like that. It just doesn't have the ability to do it. That's why I'm gonna squirt down one of each liquid and we'll see if it can actually get it up compared to being dry, like I said. So really you can take any cleaner. Honestly, I think even just straight up water would work. So let's go ahead and spray this Gatorade. Give it a nice little squirt. Here is syrup, fully dry. You can almost see it's not even getting on my finger, kind of crazy. I'm gonna soak this really good because syrup's gonna be very hard to get up. We're gonna leave this coffee stain because it's a little bit bigger and easier to see. We're gonna leave that one dry. We're gonna leave this syrup stain dry, as well as that Gatorade stain dry. And this coffee here, which is the stain the DreamTech went over dry and it could not get it up at all. We're gonna soak that nice. And by the time the robot comes to these, I expect them to be fully gone. So that's just something I think is an absolute must if you know you have a stain before you send out a robot vacuum or mop. And this test should fully prove that, like all my other tests have. But I might be surprised if this Roborock can actually get up this dried coffee stain. I'd be extremely impressed. I am gonna run it on its deep clean session. So it's gonna make tighter turns and essentially clean the same area twice. It's gonna take longer, which is fine. But if it does a better job cleaning, that's what it's all about. So I'm going to pick this room, which is gonna be the dining room and kitchen. And we're gonna send this guy out. Hopefully it does a really good job. Kind of interesting with the mop pad attached, it has trouble getting off the base if you're on carpet. Now I use this primarily as a vacuum more than a mop, so I like to leave it in here. But as you can see, it's gonna get off in just a moment just fine. But if you have this on a hard floor, it's gonna just back off with no issues. So I'm not gonna fault it for that. So it always does a perimeter first. So I'm gonna wait for the perimeter to get done, and once it starts in its zigzag motion, I'll pick you guys back up and especially get it when it goes over these stains, and we'll see how well it does. All right, here it is coming on these stains. That white spot right there is actually milk left over from the W10 test that it did not clean up. So we'll come back at the end and see if it gets up that milk. It looks like it got like the top layer of syrup off. And then the Gatorade pretty much looks gone. But remember, those are the ones that we squirted, so I expect the squirted stains to be completely gone after this test. So it's supposed to go over all this twice with the deep cleaning. So we'll see, once again, all these stains at the end. So once it gets near the stains, I'll start this camera back up and we'll see how well it does. All right, here should touch the dry coffee for the first time. or on the next turn. This is making very, very tight turns for that double clean. So that pad goes over the same square inch probably 2 to 3 times. Yeah, this time it'll hit it. See there, right there is the problem with stains. Here's the second pass on it with a touch in it. Almost nothing. Let's see if it feels even wet. Yeah, it doesn't even, I mean, you can tell it's wet on the ground, but this still feels dry as can be. So another, you know, proof to my point, and I think everybody agrees with me. I've said this in every single mopping video that I've done. Simply squirt it. Simple. And we'll see that when it gets over there to that coffee stain. Yeah. So once again, I'm not even faulting this robot, because none of them can, period. Here's the 4th time it's going over this coffee stain with a wet mopping pad and vibration. Should touch it again. That time it slowed down, that's weird. Oh, the wheel's spinning, I think. Yeah, and it still pretty much did nothing. And ran it over. All right, here's the wet coffee stain. Alright guys, I let you watch it go over all the stains. I'm going to let this fully finish because I don't know if it's going to go over them all again or not. And as soon as it's done, I'll pick this back up and we'll see exactly how it did on all these stains. And I'll give you my overall honest opinion. Alright guys, the Roborock S7 Plus is done with the mopping test. Let's see how well it did. So the dry syrup, pretty much all there, which I fully expected, and I'm not going to blame it for that. All these spots that it missed that were dry, once again, I fully expected that. I did not expect it to get up really at all, so not surprised there. The coffee that I did spray, it actually left a little bit still there. You can see kind of the ring. So not the greatest job, even though I sprayed it down. Here's the dry Gatorade. It got up some of it, but definitely not all of it. Here's the fully dried coffee stain. Got up a tiny bit over in this area, but the thicker part, absolutely nothing. The Gatorade stain that I sprayed is completely gone. The milk spot that I did not spray is actually gone, so it did good on that. And then the syrup that I did spray, once again, it's all there. I was just trying syrup for the heck of it. I thought maybe the one that I sprayed would be able to get it up, but it did not at all. So I'm not gonna do syrup anymore in these tests. So don't fault the vacuum at all for that. It just simply can't do that. All right, so what did you guys think overall? Did you think it would do better than it did, or did you kind of expect this? Now I know these are designed not to really get up stains like these, but you will have stains in your house here and there, and if you don't know about them, they're absolutely not gonna get them up at all. If you do know about them, one, you could squirt them down real quick, and by the time the robot gets to it, it's gonna be able to get it cleaned up with no issue. Or two, if you do have a stain like this, just simply clean it up real quick. Squirt it down and wipe it up with a rag. Now for everyday cleaning, it's probably gonna do a fine job if you have it clean every other day. Now here's where I'm gonna try to be brutally honest, because I've tested lots of mops. I have the newest and the greatest, and I'm gonna be comparing that to those. And with that being said, personally, I will never, ever use this mop built into the Roborock S7. I don't think it does a very good job. You have to fill the water tank yourself every time you wanna run it. You have to take the mopping pad off and clean it, or throw it in your washer, which is fine, but then you have to reinstall it all, fill back up the water. And essentially with the way this is designed, say if it did get up all of this stuff with no problem whatsoever, everything you saw down on the ground is stuck on that mopping pad, and it's essentially just pushing it around the rest of your floor and probably making some areas stickier than they were before they even went out and got cleaned. Now once again, I want this to be clear, nothing against the Roborock itself. I don't like any mopping robots with a pad that is attached like that. Personally, I don't think any of them do good. I've done multiple tests with all of them, and they all fail miserably. I think the technology is going in the right direction with ones that have the spinning dual mopping pads at the bottom, and then they go back and self-clean themselves, like the Narwhal, like the new DreamTech W10. There's two new ones coming out. One is actually the Roborock, which is gonna be good. I will be getting that to test. So that's the Roborock G10. There's a D-Bot Omni X1 that has everything built in, including self-emptying. That's gonna be pretty amazing. So once again, that's all just my opinion. Everybody knows if you watch this channel, I absolutely love Roborock products. I think the vacuum itself is amazing. I think the self-empty bin is amazing. And this video is absolutely not telling you to not go get an S7 Plus. I still highly, highly, highly recommend you to buy that robot vacuum. Just don't care so much about the mopping portion of it. I think it's still in the best top 2 robot vacuums I've ever tested on this channel. So with all that being said, it's still an amazing buy, great vacuum. So the mop for what it is probably the best on the market, with a pad that sits on the back and gets dragged behind the robot because it oscillates. It has force-fed water tank that keeps it nice and soaked, and then it does have the viborize for little carpets. So with that being said, it's probably the best mop on the market of that category. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know in the comments if there's other tests you'd like to see with it. And I'll be putting all my robot mops together head to head very soon, and I'm gonna be telling you which one I recommend as the best mop for 2021. Hopefully I'll have that video out very soon. If you enjoy this video, please like it, subscribe because I got a lot more content coming, and leave a comment below saying anything you'd like. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys soon.